plenty of free parking. And yes, we still print everything. I moved to MP Uptown because as a Black business owner, I want to be in North Minneapolis and help provide jobs. At MP Uptown, we pay above living wages, hire people who have made mistakes in the past, and believe in social justice. We have over 175 Google reviews with a 5-star rating. Let us handle your next print project because when you support our business, you support the community. Call 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com. We print everything.
Hey, Twin Cities, it's Latunji from Latunji's Palette. We're celebrating 5 years in business. Latunji's Palette. It's a place for gourmet pastries, sandwiches, drinks, and so much more. Come on over and visit us at 1400 Park Avenue South. Feel the connection of food and community. Also, we want you to look for our famous peach cobbler and other gourmet goodies at Eastside Food Co-op, Hy-Vee, Lunds and Barley's, North Market, and more. Learn more at latunjispalette.com, where we're built with purpose, fortified with love.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Patchy fog overnight with a low of 30. Then Saturday fog in the morning, then mostly cloudy with a low of 35. Vinaigrette can add the perfect complement to your next home-cooked meal. Taste test their wide selection of oils and vinegars, and they'll bottle it for you right on the spot. Vinaigrette is located at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Check them out at vinaigrettemn.com. Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. As usual, tonight is Casual Friday. Very excited. It's one of my favorite days of the week, not just because it's the end of the week, but we're able to just kind of chill a little bit, kind of ease our way into the weekend. I have with me tonight Mr. Adam. He's at the studio. I'm at home. Adam, how are you tonight?
I am all good. You? And I thought, honestly, with the introduction, I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to be doing it with the door open tonight. So Linus, the star of the show.
I'm getting there. But, the thing was, as I was, first and foremost, we're a radio show, right? And and I thank to all the listeners who do listen to us. Really appreciate it. But what we do on Facebook, we do the simulcast. That if anyone wants to watch us on Facebook, you can do so. The downfall of this is seeing the number of people actually watching, and especially when it starts off and there's like a higher number, but as we're not even through the intro yet, and you could see that the numbers are going down, and you could just imagine they're like, it's GhostBox Radio again. I thought it was Saturday, or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it was just like, oh, well, here we go. And for those of you who have stayed the course of the week with us, we thank you very much. And Adam, to your point, yes. So I'm here at my house, which I'm hoping to do more of the shows from the house because they're long drives and whatnot. Oh boy, I think I awoken him. He's a beast. And I'm in an office, and normally I have the door shut because I have a 20-pound ragdoll cat named Linus, and he is my world. I'm the sad cat man. I don't have anyone else. And but I always keep the door shut because as soon as I start talking, if I'm outside on a Zoom call, like outside meaning outside this room or whatever else, he'll come up and be like, you should be paying attention to me. Why are you talking to anybody else, even if it's yourself? And he starts clawing at me because he has his claws. He will, like, if I don't pay attention, he will start biting my shin. It's just like he's a bit of a monster. He's a monster in a very cute sort of kitty cat disguise. But I was just on a show on a Facebook show it's called Supernatural Inc. Network, and my friend Greg Koss, he had me on. I guested on his show, and they wanted to see Linus because they know of him. So I opened up the door and brought him in, and so we're trying this out to see if he is going to be a hassle or not. Now I have a small, like, cheap table that I have everything on here. Like, if he were to jump up on here, probably the entire studio, as lack of a better term for it, would cave in. He's a big boy. He's a very big boy, Adam.
But I think the question begs to be asked. So if you're not talking to anybody, you're just being quiet, watching a movie or whatever, Linus doesn't care. But is it as soon as you open your mouth and start talking to someone or something that isn't him?
Exactly.
That's when, okay.
Exactly. As soon as
it starts for attention.
And when I was working for a corporation and I would have to have meetings from home during the lockdown and stuff, he would get on his hinds and he would put his claws into my arms when I'm trying to talk to normally my boss, and he would pull back, like, so he'd be like this, and it's like, oh my God, why do you hate me? And he doesn't. He just wants my attention.
Your cat is amazing.
Well, he's certainly he's the better looker of the two of us, and he's also probably, people would probably like him more than me. So I mean, I'm not. Hey, listen, you got to know, you got to be able to read a room, right? You got to know where you stand, and I know exactly where I stand. So
that's when that's why you're going to start carrying Linus around in like one of the mini dog purses or whatever. But
God.
But since he's like 20 pounds or whatever, you'll need like a duffel bag.
Yeah, there's nothing mini about that animal. That he's a big boy, and he'll jump up on the bed at night when I'm sleeping, and it sounds like the Kool-Aid Man is coming through. Just in fact, okay, maybe it's TMI, but I dated somebody. She was a psychic medium. She didn't live in town here, so she'd come and visit very once in a while, and we would watch always horror movies when she'd get here. She was also a paranormal investigator, and her and Linus got along very well. But he one night we were in bed, we were going to go to bed, and he pulls the thing, and we were watching The Conjuring. And so we're watching The Conjuring, and we were done with that, going to bed. She's kind of freaked out about it all. He does that thing where he jumps up on the bed as the Kool-Aid Man. She screams, and he barely touches the bed and then jumps off. And I don't think he hit the ground until down the hall, because she screamed because he scared her. Then she screamed and she scared him. And he just was like Superman or a bowling ball flying through the air. I don't know what it was, but yeah, that was what that was one of my favorite memories of him. And I think he got back at her about a year later. We were once again sitting on the couch. We were watching a horror movie, and Linus was just on his, like, just sprawled out like he is now. I can see him now. And it's like the movie's over. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I do every night. Come on, Linus, we're going to bed. He doesn't move. I'm like, Linus, he doesn't move. And this woman, she goes down and she's like, touches him, like, come on, Linus, doesn't move. She starts shaking him. He doesn't move. And she looks at me like, I think he's dead. And then he's just like, oh, hi, everyone. And he gets up and he walks away. And I'm like, you monster.
It would have been even better if that night you were watching Pet Sematary.
I did have that in the queue. I got the 4K disc of it. I'm not about streaming, folks. I'm still about physical media. Okay.
I was
That,
getting ready to ask, is it the remake or the original?
well, no, of course it's the original, the
Right on.
1989 with
Yeah.
Fred Gwynn is in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where he
Um,
cracks his head on the side of the when he rolls out of bed, cracks his head on the nightstand.
yeah, no, that's a serious film. I really like that film, and some of it's really hard to watch,
All
actually.
right. So I don't remember what the second film was, but
Pet Cemetery 2.
no, no, no. We went to a drive-in, so I'm like 8, 9
Oh, I
years
see.
old when
So it'd
this
be
came
two.
out.
Yeah. Okay.
And my mom was so what's the best word? Torn up about the kid getting hit by the truck and then coming back. Oh, she was like inconsolable to where
I,
I don't even remember what the first movie that night was to this day. But I remember the second movie being Pet Cemetery. It was my mom, my Aunt Beth, myself, probably another one of my aunts or uncles. And we all loaded into the Impala and went to the drive-in. But she was so distraught from the kid getting hit by the truck. It
I'll
was
I'll tell you, Adam. That's kind of what I can't watch, and it's not so much that. I mean that's not great either,
no.
obviously. But at the end, when they set fire to the house,
Mhm.
and they pour the gasoline all over, and they show the fire going around, and his dead body gets engulfed by flames.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care what kind of parent you are, like knowing that you got your child in a horror film, that cannot be easy to watch. That would have to be like, if I were the parent, I'd be like, okay, we signed this kid up for the movie. We know it's not really him. It's a
Mhm.
dummy or whatever. But if I were the parent, it's like, I don't ever want to see that. I don't ever want to see that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And, okay, so looking at the chat real quick while we're talking about movies, this one popped in
So
from a
apparently Adam is running the show now. That's
apparently, but
now we know our roles. I'm happy we got that finally
it
figured
caught
out.
my eye because the first one that actually scared the crap out of me wasn't technically a horror movie. The
Now,
fir
okay, Adam, we got to back up here for a second. If you're going to play the role of the host, you
Oh, I
can't
gotta
just
read
put
it
it
out.
up on the screen. You have to read it because we have people in that's also listening on the radio.
I get it. So,
Okay, so go ahead.
all right, what was the first scary movie did you watch that you were not supposed to watch that scared the crap out of you? There, that work? My vision is terrible, so reading
There you
from it just
go.
stinks.
So what
However,
was it? What was it for you?
it was Pink Floyd The Wall.
Huh.
That literally scared me straight essentially for many, many years to where I didn't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But yeah, that's one I shouldn't have been watching, but I watched it. I think it was like 8, maybe 7 years old.
Well, so for me, my parents, I don't think they thought that. I think they thought that we were good to watch anything. So I remember when I was 4 years old, and it's still one of my favorites. I talk about it often. Is Salem's Lot.
Mhm.
I love it, and that's a scary film to watch. Lisa says that she watched The Exorcist at the drive-in. I mean, that is at when she was 8. I was probably younger than that when I saw that. Amityville for Emily, that's another one. And the thing is, it's like those are things that they scared me, but Exorcist scared me more when they re-released it in 2000. I think they re-released it 2000 or
Yeah, with the
2001.
bonus scenes. Yeah.
And that for me was an Adam night of the lights on
Mhm.
night for that, because that was just, and funny enough, I was just talking about this with Greg Koss on the last show I was on, that the thing about that is we did an episode, and we had a pre-record, so I don't know if you ever even heard it, um, Adam, but we did it with Bishop Christina Rake, and part of the purpose of the program was the stuff that's in The Exorcist that Regan goes through. Does it match what happens in real exorcisms? And what she said that they had seen actually pales The Exorcist quite a bit,
Mhm.
and that's frightening. Like she said that we've seen it where somebody is throwing up not green guck, but rusty nails or mice, living mice.
Or you remember when we went and saw Exorcist Believers, the black tar stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I guess I did listen to that pre-record because I was insanely interested in that one and was disappointed it had to be a pre-record.
So so just to kind of get to what some people are saying in the comments, Lynette says, for me it was the birds when I saw the people with their eyes pecked out. Good grief. And then Nancy also says, I watched the birds from behind the couch unbeknownst to my parents. The next was the blob. I jumped from the bed to the hallway for weeks to avoid anything under the bed. Yes, that old. Now, hey, I don't blame you.
Neither do I. It was very, oh yeah, that blob.
My parents loved gory movies. I remember one of the last things that my dad was watching. He was in the recuperation center that he died in, and we went to visit him, and he's watching some stupid film that was going to torture. Like, it wasn't like real. It was a film. So when I say they were going to torture some animal, it wasn't like a documentary or something. But it's like, and I looked at him, I'm like, it's, first of all, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. Where do you find these films that are running at 2:00 in the afternoon, number one? And secondly, do we always have to look at this? I said to him, I'm going to leave if you don't turn this off. I mean, I was that, like, I'm so sick of every time I see you people, there's somebody that has a decapitated head, that they're having their eyes gouged out, that they're set on fire. Listen, can I just visit with you for a minute, and then you can go back to your gory lives when I leave? And he just looked at me laughing like, it's not so bad. It's, it's not real. I know it's not real, but doesn't mean it's still pleasant to watch. Oh yeah. Goodness. Well, that was an unlocking of emotion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but yeah.
It's called a matinee. No. Matinees is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Godzilla, Universal horror films, not whatever this maniac had found on the television that was basically let's dismember everybody in this household. No. Sorry, Nancy. I'm not going with that. Sorry.
So this wasn't one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, was it?
Oh, but if it was on, we would be watching it. Because he would laugh at it. He wouldn't be like glued to it. He'd be laughing at it because I think he saw the ridiculousness of it, but he just kind of enjoyed it all the same. And so I mean, I think he saw all horror movies as just bad horror movies. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Nancy also says, and no, it's not pay-per-view. He just found it. It's like Sci-Fi would be showing this stuff. No way. I ordered Time Life books, Ghosts, Goblins, Witches, and Warlocks, the whole set. I remember that set. Do you remember that set, Adam?
Yeah, I do. My aunt actually had that set.
That's pretty cool. And read them to my son, who loved them, but my stepson could not stand them. Okay, this is what we got to do. I just looked at the clock. We should probably do a commercial. People, keep putting those memories in the comment. That's really cool. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. We can go back to listen to that. I also have question of the week I'd like to get to. We got some news stories if we get to it. And am I just going to chat around for a little bit too? You can call in 952-946-6205. Let's have a great entrance into the weekend. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Magus Books, your multicultural spiritual supply store. Stop in and expand your horizons with books, classes, readings, and supplies at magusbooks.com or in our shop at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis. From the best incense to beautiful statues, we have supplies and books for your spiritual explorations. Come in and chat with our knowledgeable staff and get what you need for your next adventure, whether you're fighting ghosts or opening your third eye. Check us out today at magusbooks.com.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
And if you remember, just a couple days ago, we had Refined Divine on the program, and she did an amazing job of one question readings. It was really incredible. Don't forget, Refined Divine is having their holistic fair this Sunday, January 28th, from 10 to 5 at the Eagles Club in Rochester, Minnesota. Now, as a special for us listeners of GhostBox Radio, if you go out to this fair and you go up to pay, just say GhostBox Radio, and they're going to let you in for free. They will waive the $5 fee. You get in there for free. You get to see all the vendors and see what else they have going on there. It's a pretty good deal, and we're very grateful that she is offering that out to all of our listeners. To get more information, go to refineddivinepsychic.com. And if I were able to this weekend, I would love to go. I'm not able to, but I will make it out to one of them for sure. So that's in Rochester. That's pretty cool, Adam, right?
Yeah, and the fact that, she came on the air Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
And she's having such a good time. She's like, I tell you what, because at first it was like, I'll leave you tickets and I'll leave you guys tickets. Yeah. And then she's like, you know what? Any of your listeners? It's like, yes, absolutely. This is going to be a blast.
That's very nice. Now, of course, I'm on high alert over here. My other hand is petting Linus right now because he's awake. Oh my God, he's awake. He's awake and he's walking around and he's staring. So if you hear me yell and scream or I just start bleeding, you know that that's what he's doing. You know what? Also, I really enjoyed is that Debbie Refined Divine. I'm like, let's have you back on. She's like, I come on next week. So I mean, that was kind of cool. I didn't mind that at all. That was a lot of fun. She was great.
And just to pull the curtain back to some of the listeners and viewers, that's not the first guest. Once we've gone off the air, like, yes, I want to come back, and a lot of it's because it's live.
It is live, and that does say a difference. And it's like when we do pre-records, when guests are not able to do it live, we totally understand, and that allows us to like also record guests from the UK and stuff. But even I know Adam feels this way. I feel this way when we are not able to do it live. It loses something. I love the fact that we have this comment section and people join in and we have these conversations. There's nothing better.
Yeah, when it's live, and especially with the chats, whether it be Facebook, YouTube's, whatever, and the people who do call in, it does create a very positive energy that I enjoy running this board and chatting back and forth with everyone.
Absolutely. Now, just an update, my cat is laying at my feet, so I'm safe for the moment. Share with us what's on your mind. Put it in the comments. You can call in 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. If you want to talk about a scary movie that you watched that you weren't supposed to when you're younger, feel free to do so. We're more than happy to listen to you. Nancy in the comments, once again, she says, my sister-in-law both love scary. My sister-in-law and I both love scary movies, and we always took my convertible to drive-ins to see them. We parked next to a van loaded with teenagers, and we're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be brutal with their loudness and laughing. We were laughing so hard at Halloween H2O that they came over and warned us once. And then the van load, they were mad at them because they were laughing. You guys, they were in their 40s at the time. I'm reading because Nancy, love your story, but you do have it in multiple parts, so I'm trying to put it all together. But I think I get the gist, and that's pretty funny. Robin says Linus doing the hard work tonight, such a good boy. What you don't know, Adam, about a year or so ago, Robin here drew a picture of Linus and sent me a card with a picture that she drew of Linus, and it's beautiful.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Ooh, and we have a caller.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Diana says, the movie Trilogy of Terror. Do you know this movie, Adam? Trilogy of Terror.
It was out it aired on TV before my time, but I did see the VHS.
So it's 3 parts. And no one ever thinks about the first 2 parts. It's always the last one with this doll that has super sharp teeth, and it terrorizes this woman in her apartment.
Oh yeah, that is the worst. I think that's actually what started my fear of dolls.
It could be. I was going to try to.
I'm not joking. I really think that's what started my fear of dolls.
Yeah, as Nancy says, oh, the little guy that had the knife between his teeth. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I forgot about that. That's nasty stuff. And she put him in the oven. That's right. That was done by Dan Curtis, who also did many things, amongst them the 2 films, Night Stalker, which is one of my favorite series with Darren McGavran.
Yeah.
And also Dark Shadows.
The original
Dark Shadows series. Yep, Dan Curtis.
Oh wow, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah,
Bartleby, right?
Barnaby Jones. Yeah, Barnaby Collins.
Yeah,
Barnabas Collins. My gosh,
Barnabas.
There we go. This is we're amazing tonight.
We are.
You said before we started, let's do some radio magic. I think we're doing something. Yeah,
I think we are.
We're doing something. I don't know if it's a soap opera. It is a soap opera,
yeah,
but it's good. It's I mean, okay, we talk about me and my physical media. I have all of them on DVD.
Do you even have the remake of Dark Shadows from like the late 80s, early 90s?
Early 90s with Ben Cross, I do not.
Okay.
But
I didn't know if they ever actually released those because it only went like 1 season.
It only went for a little bit, and I do believe that they were released. But yeah. So yeah, I'm all about that stuff. So your wife says the Zuni fetish doll. Are we going into weird territory here, or is that
no? That's the doll from Trilogy of Terror.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. That we're not thrown off the air or anything. So
see what I mean about being scared of dolls now.
Let's see here. Once again, call in 952-946-6205. Question of the week.
Are we going to get to our phone caller?
I'm sorry, what?
Are we going to get to our phone call on line 1 yet?
You have a call?
Yeah, I said we have a call.
No, I didn't. I don't listen to you first.
Okay, well, but we have Crunchy Soup.
Because we have this private chat that I thought that you put the stuff into. Who's on the call? Who's on the phone?
Emily.
Emily is on. All right, Emily, what you got for us?
Well, I cannot be the only one that wants to call and harass you both.
That's right. Well, apparently you are. So, and we're happy for it. How are you today?
I am super good. I don't really know what you guys are talking about at this point because all I heard was Adam talking to himself. So I'm kind of lost.
We're still talking about horror movies.
Well, I hope.
Okay, love it because that's what I wanted to talk about.
Where are you hearing it? Where only Adam's talking? Was it when you're on the
she was waiting on the line. Yeah.
She can't hear me. Yeah. I don't think she can hear me.
I can hear you now, but it's kind of like in and out.
Well, it's clearly Adam's fault.
It must be.
So okay, horror films. What you got for us?
I wanted to know what you thought about the Conjuring movie, like the first one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The Conjuring movie, I remember, and then Adam can share his thoughts. The first time I saw the Conjuring film was right before I went to Villisca, and Villisca
Okay.
Axe
Okay.
Murder
Oh,
House.
yeah. Interesting.
And so seeing that stuff unfold was really pretty frightening, knowing that we're going to one of the darkest places in America. And Villisca did not disappoint in that realm at all. But I'll tell you something else. I don't know if you know, I had Joe Frankie on the show on Tuesday, who investigated with the Warrens since '86, and we were talking about the films. And I said to him, I think the scariest part of any of those films are the end credits, because generally the end credits are the bits that they're actually playing the real audio from those cases, and those are
Yeah.
really frightening to me.
Yeah, I thought it was like horrific.
Yeah.
Even the story behind it, I thought they did a really good job with the movie. But I do know that like some of the stories behind it too that they didn't put in the movie. It's eerie.
It is weird that what made and what didn't make it. And I wish that they had the rights to do their own like take on the Amityville, because I think that there's something that could be said there. Adam, what are your thoughts on the Conjuring film, especially the first one?
The first one, and I'm in agreement with both of you. The ending with the actual audio was, to me, that was the most intense part of the flick. Otherwise, I felt during the buildup before the Warrens actually show up and and events start happening in the house, to me, that buildup and the way the actors portrayed their fear, it really bled over from the screen into me. I was literally scared. I slept with the light on that night, no joke. And in fact, I slept in the living room that night in my recliner.
The thing that gets me about any film, and because I'm such a big animal lover, is when, and I know it's not real, but like the dog dies early on in the film.
Yeah.
And the thing, and I have to laugh about it a little bit, and I know it's a bit spoilery because it's only been out for less than a year, but the last of the Demeter.
Yeah.
There, so my friend Carla was with us at the premiere of that, and she just was like, I just hate it when animals die in films. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know why an animal would die in this film. So I said to her, I don't think you have anything to worry about here. 10 minutes into the film, there is a slaughter of about 30 animals in the film.
No.
And I could feel her looking at me, just like, all you could do is like, sorry, I mean, just like, why did I even give that sort of like affirmation when I don't know anything about this film? And I'm telling her, like, I've seen it, and I've seen it for the first time with her. And it's like, oh, you have nothing to worry about. And just this slaughter.
All right,
My
seriously,
God.
you didn't see that coming from a mile away. You knew Dracula would need to regain his energy. You knew those animals were going to be the first to go.
I didn't even think that there's animals on the ship, because I just didn't really think about it. I
Oh,
mean,
with the dog, I knew the dog was going to be the first one to go.
yeah, well, I mean, at that point, it was just more like prior to the film even starting. It's like I just knew that there was a ship with some people on it, so that was kind of where
Adam, not all of us are constantly thinking about like animal slaughter, okay?
Yeah, well, there you go. So maybe we start watching Last of the Demeter at Act 2 or something. It's worth watching, though. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching.
It really is. It was a good flick. Thank you so very much, Emily.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emily.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. See, folks, it's not hard to call in and keep us company. That's just what it's all about over here. So let's see here. I was just kind of looking through the comments again, talking about Dark Shadows. Lynette says, the only problem with Dark Shadows is that nothing scary happened too often. It was always alluding up to something scary, and they played scary music constantly during the show. There is absolutely 100% truth to all of this. There is nothing scary about Dark Shadows at all. You had a vampire who never bit anybody. You had, I mean, but I loved it all the same. And Jonathan Frid as Barnabas Collins, he's fantastic at it. I mean, he's really, really good. But yeah, I don't I don't think it's scary at all either.
It's not scary, but to me, that started the romantasy of the vampire in pop culture.
No, that was Dracula, Bela. In my opinion.
In your opinion, yeah. I mean, I found those flicks scary. I didn't find anything, sexy or arousing about them.
You weren't aroused by Bela Lugosi, is what you're saying?
No, not at all.
Okay,
But
Barnabas Collins, you were.
Yes, I was, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
Actually, it was more of the who was the female lead?
From where?
The remake of Dark Shadows. That's what I had seen.
Okay.
Oh, that's what started the romanticizing of the vampire for me.
Sure. No, I totally understand. The odd thing about say like the original Dracula, 1931, and you compare it to something like Frankenstein, which is same year. Dracula is played like a stage play. It's shot like a stage play. There isn't anything dynamic about the shots or anything about it, and it's like very sparse when it comes to any sort of dialogue, because it's right at the end of the silent film era. But then Frankenstein, which is Todd Browning did Dracula. James Whale did Frankenstein. That is so much more dynamic on every possible level.
Yeah, there's depth to the shots. There's so many different sceneryscapes in there. They had, when towards the end where they're coming to burn Frankenstein's castle, you can see the depth of everyone crossing the bridge with the pitchforks and
a lot of shadow work. Yeah,
and it's a very beautiful film, even in 2024. It is a beautiful film to peep out.
Absolutely. I would agree 100%. Before we head off to break here, Robin also says that I remember being 8 years old watching Gremlins in the theater. Wow. That movie caused a couple weeks of insomnia for me. I believe it. Let's see here. Julianne says The Ring was creepy as an adult, had PTSD after that. And then Danielle says The Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a freaky one.
Yeah. There's some really messed up things out there, isn't there?
You know what else? Folks, horror movies aren't that bad once you think about the psychological thrillers that the majority of our listeners are putting in here.
Oh yeah, because the stuff I'm talking about is gory stuff with my parents. But yeah, the stuff that's actually also playing with your mind and stuff. That's messed up. Yeah, it's all. That's why, like, to me, I like the Salem Slaughter, the Universal films. They're just on the right side of scary for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take our next break? When we come back, anyone else have anything to say? We're certainly welcome to it. This is your night tonight to tell us what you want. Otherwise, we'll go on to question of the week. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I open Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with MetamorphosisConnections.com. MetamorphosisConnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search MetamorphosisConnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on MetamorphosisConnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting MetamorphosisConnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Mental health challenges among our youth have reached crisis levels post-pandemic. Anxiety, depression, trauma, and addiction are at unprecedented levels among teens and young adults. Parents, if your adolescent, teen, or young adult is struggling with mental health challenges, empower them with a fresh start at Hazelden Betty Ford. Hazelden Betty Ford can provide a clear path forward for you and your children, in network with most insurance. This message is brought to you by Hazelden Betty Ford, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Patchy fog overnight with a low of 30. Then Saturday fog in the morning, then mostly cloudy with a low of 35. Vinaigrette can add the perfect complement to your next home-cooked meal. Taste test their wide selection of oils and vinegars, and they'll bottle it for you right on the spot. Vinaigrette is located at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Check them out at vinaigrettemn.com.
And don't forget, Refined Divine is having their holistic fair this Sunday, January 28th from 10 to 5 at the Eagles Club in Rochester, Minnesota. When you go up to pay, just say GhostBox Radio, and they're going to let you in for free. That's a savings of $5. This is going to be a pretty big fair, and I think there's going to be a lot of great vendors, a lot of things to do. To get more information, go to refineddivinepsychic.com. That's refineddivinepsychic.com. You can also find them on Facebook as Refined Divine. So we're really excited about that. And then also, what I'm also equally excited about is join us Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We're going to have on two friends of mine, Amanda and Amy. They just opened a metaphysical store in Anoka called Divine Lights. We're going to be talking with them about the store, what's going on there. The energy is just so good there that we're really excited about that. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have on Lynn Monet, and we've had her on before. And Adam, do you remember her? I don't know if you were doing the show. She came on one night when we were doing it weekly. Does that name sound familiar to you at all?
Yeah, it does. I think she was one of our last Sunday shows.
She might have been, or certainly around the time maybe I got COVID too or something. But she did this a series of books called Omnipresent. And there's 3 of them, and I'm going to have her on once a week over 3 weeks to talk about each book. And it's about a horrible situation with spirit in her house. And we're going to go through all that, and it's going to be it's going to be a great conversation. And so, yeah, that's going to be coming up next week. Before we get to question of the week, Brad is always so concerned for you, Adam. He wanted to know if you are safe at the station tonight.
Yeah, nothing has actually happened tonight, which is cool, but I'm starting to kind of connect the dots. And it seems like the more prominent stuff seems to happen when we do have psychic mediums, when we're doing one question readings, and it's going hot like it has been the last 2 weeks on Wednesdays for one question readings, or when there was a couple weeks there in a row where we were talking about World War II, and we both saw something dark in the studio.
Oh, the lights just turned on behind you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It didn't.
Did it?
No.
I can't see behind me right now. Actually, I can. Nope, they're there. But no, tonight's been pretty safe. It's felt really nice. However, though, on Wednesday when we were I saw a couple of shadows go past the window. I noticed that Brad, along with my wife, were trying to start a drinking game based on my reactions.
Yeah. Well, you do become kind of scared sounding when it comes all together. So I mean,
and I'll admit there is that moment of holy expletive deleted. What's this? And then there's that holy cow, something cool, something just happened. How neat is this? Absolutely. But it's that wave of emotion right there that they want to get snookered and get drunk while I'm reacting and being scared.
Well, I want to get drunk too, but it has nothing to do with you getting scared. And we call that Friday. So I mean, let's see here. Why don't we just hit on question of the week a little bit? And the question, because I had Joe Frankie on Tuesday. We're talking about Amityville, and I brought him on because he had investigated with the Warrens since 1986. He was not at the case for Amityville, but Ed had downloaded it excessively to him. It's Tuesday's show, so if you have a chance, check it out. It's a very interesting show. So the question is, do you believe what happened to the Lutz family at the Amityville house is real? Because that's always been kind of the question, whether or not that is it real or is it a hoax. And I said, any reason one way or another, please give us a full answer. Okay. Now, the first one I'm going to read is one I do not agree with. And if Joe is here, or if Joe hears this, he might go and find this person and set him straight. Let's put it that way on the facts. Michael says, from what I've read, the Warrens are quacks that knew how to get a gullible audience to follow them, and the Lutz family knew how to make a lot of money fast in a world where media is willing to pay for the next big thing. The DeFeo family, which were the ones that mostly all died in the house before the Lutz moved in, that tragedy was sad. If I had money, I would buy the house. Here we go. Restore it as close as possible to what it was in the 70s and turn it into a museum. No. People want to visit the place, let them. The place had just huge renovations to modernize and sold recently for $1.something million. Well, it sold for $845,000. It's had renovations for some time, but I certainly don't agree with them being a what you call it, a hoax. The Warrens, that is. Why don't we go ahead? Let's go to the lines. If you do want to call in, 952-946-6205. We have a familiar voice that wants to come through. Robert, how are you? I don't hear Robert, actually. So I think Adam's still on the phone. If Robert's still there, we'll get to him when we get to him. Wait, we're waiting for what's going on over there, Adam.
I had a caller on line too, so trying to answer the phone and listen for your cues is kind of difficult. But yes, we have Robert on line 1.
All right, here we go. Robert, how are you?
Doing great. Love your show. Great show tonight.
Thank
you. I was just going to call in real quick about the studio being haunted. When we used to do our show 7 years ago, when we first started, we'd smudge off the whole area and we could feel spirits in that studio. And maybe we'll have to come down there and smudge it off again. But again, I love your show. I just wanted to check in and say that.
That's really very kind of you. And Robert is on 5 to 6 every Monday through Friday for Native Roots. And just Robert, what do you think about coming out here sometime and we do an investigation of this place?
I'd love it. I'd get my uncle out there too, because he used to do the prayer before our show, and we felt spirits there. But yeah, that would be great.
I love it. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. But I also want to stream it as well. You down for that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's do it. And that's awesome. Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate the call.
Yeah, great work, and have a great night and great show.
Thank you, Robert. You too. Thank you very much. And just real fast before we go to the next call, I just want to say that we are doing another live investigation February 21st, like we did for Halloween. And we are going to announce more details over the next week or so, but it's going to be an extended episode of GhostBox Radio. So we're really excited about that. Now, Adam, it sounds like we have Dan on line 2.
Yes, we have caller on line 2.
Thank
Dan,
you.
Are you there?
Hi, Dan.
Hello, caller. Are you there? I think we may have lost him.
We might have lost Dan. Dan, if you want to call in. Otherwise, we will continue on. Brad, in response to what I just read, which I felt like I should read just because it's there and know that I do not agree with anything that Michael had said. The Warrens aren't fake, is what Brad says, and don't do hoaxes.
All right, excellent. We'll get you on here.
but I do believe stuff from back then is more easily explained now. I think that's very much a truth to it. Adam, we got is it Dan?
Yep, we got our color back.
All right,
Dan,
Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi there. Hi there. I'm sorry about that. I think we just lost a connection. I've been listening to your show for a while. Incredible. It conjures a lot of thoughts in my mind. Number one, the film that I watched back in 1976 when I was 11 that freaked me out because it was in 35 millimeter in large screen, taking place in the future, Logan's Run.
Oh,
the moment
yeah.
they show the people being executed in future society, 23rd century, people must die at the age of 30. They go into a ritual called carousel.
Yep.
They're dressed in hockey masks and kind of like a druid headwear, and they're lifted up into this magnetic beam, and they're blown up. I couldn't sleep for 3 nights.
Great color.
And that was written by William F. Nolan. William F. Nolan was the writer who wrote the first 2 chapters of Trilogy of Terror. William F. Nolan wrote the first 2 chapters with Karen Black back in the 1970s. He regrets not having written the 3rd one with the Boogeyman. So when there was a sequel, he insisted on writing the sequel to the Boogeyman, to that little wild doll. He wrote the sequel for the sequel movie. Bill Nolan, he just passed away about 2 years ago. Secondly, I lived in a house on Lawn Avenue in Western Springs, Illinois, a western suburb of Chicago, back in the 1970s, which was considered haunted. And I swear I could hear people underneath my bed while I was trying to sleep at night back in 1974, 75.
Wow. And so, is that the only place that you've experienced something like that, or has it been any other places that you've lived in that you've experienced any sort of activity like that?
That's one place where I experienced something. What's interesting is my mother's a psychiatrist. She had a friend who was not only a psychiatrist, she had a colleague who was a psychiatrist who was from Germany, who was also somewhat of a ghost empath. She was a ghost empath, and she could actually feel spirits. And she said she felt very high energy emanating from our old house on Lawn Avenue in Chicago, or in Western Springs, Illinois.
Wow, that's incredible. Dan, before I let you go, let me tell you a quick story, if I may.
Please.
It's my parents' house, which I never really thought about being haunted, and my dad had passed, and this is in St. Anthony Village. And I was going to go with her to a funeral of my sister's father-in-law. If we, try to connect the dots, I know I'm making it much more complex than it needs to be.
No, I'm connecting.
And so she said to me, my mom said to me at the house, she's like, sometimes I just hear people talking. I'm like, where's that coming from? I've never heard her mention that before. So I'm just like, well, me being the paranormal investigator was like, whatever. Sure. So we go to the funeral, we go out to eat, we come back. And as she normally does, I'm sitting there, I'm reading like a paper because it's on the table, just reading something. And she turns on the TV and you can hear people talking and stuff. And I look up and the TV actually isn't on. She never turned it on. There's people talking. There's people talking in the house. And my mom just looked at me and she's like, you see what I mean now? And, of course, I go into all paranormal investigator mode. Like, I'm walking around like I could do something. I could do nothing. I have no idea what it was. But that was the first time. And then after they passed, the energy in that house was never the same. It was actually not great energy. We don't really know what happened there. So that's that, Dan.
That is fascinating. And I'm going to keep listening, and I'll try to make the investigation that you're going to be doing on February 21st. That's a Wednesday.
Yes.
To let listeners know, Wednesday, February 21st. I have that day off, so I'll be making it if I can. Where will that be taking place?
Tilted Tiki in Grand Garage, Stillwater, and we will allow people to come out there to be in the audience.
Oh, fantastic! And is there an audience charge or a fee of some?
I think $300. No, I really don't know. We don't have all the info yet, but I think all the fee that we're going to ask for is that people patron the Tilted Tiki and get a couple drinks and some food. So I think it'll be great.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to it, and it's a fantastic show.
Thank
If
you.
I haven't said that beforehand, I love the show. I've been addicted to it since you started broadcasting.
Thank you so much, Dan. That means so much to us. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. I'll keep
Thank
listening. You take
All
care.
righty. Adam, after that, I mean, what more do we say? I think there's dead air for the next couple minutes just to run out the show. I'm humbled.
I am too. I thank you so very much, Dan. Thank you.
So-
That honestly means a lot. It really does.
It's very cool. And how cool that Mr. Pilot called in. We have time for one more response. There's a lot of people that responded. I might pick this up next week because people took the time to respond, and I appreciate it. Though Adam has a question next week that he sent my way that I think we're going to use. But Lisa says, and I saw Lisa on here tonight, regarding the reality of what you call it, the Amityville. She said, this one's a tough one for me. I do believe there's something paranormal there. However, I'm not sure I believe the entirety of the Lutz version of events. Do I think they experienced something? Yes, but there's just something that tells me it's not as what has been reported by them. Does that make sense? It makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know about you, Adam. I think that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense to me because it almost feels like the Lutzes were haunted as well as the house, and you get those two things going together, nothing but pandemonium.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, we just want to remind everyone, please, if you're able to go out to Stillwater. My gosh, there's too many places. Rochester. Thank you very much. If you're able to go out to Rochester and check out Refined Divine Holistic Fair Sunday, January 28th. 10 to 5, you go in to pay, but instead of giving them your hard-earned money, you just say GhostBox Radio, and we'll let you in. The entrance fee is free if you say GhostBox Radio. So go check out refineddivinepsychic.com. Other than that, Adam, we had a great week. Next week is going to have some great guests. Thank you as always, Adam, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
It's Brad Friedman, your friendly investigative blogger, journalist, and host of the